Hello, everyone. They're breaking apart, piece by piece, day by day. And the worst part, you don't even know. You're living your life while someone who used to share that life is collapsing under the weight of your absence. They're not just sad, they're being destroyed by this separation, hollowed out, barely recognizing themselves in the mirror because who they are without you feels like a stranger wearing their face. The misery is total, consuming, the kind that doesn't leave room for anything else. Not dramatic exaggeration for effect, actual breakdown happening in real time because the separation has revealed something they couldn't see while they had you. You weren't just part of their life, you were the foundation, and without foundations, everything crumbles. I'm going to walk you through what's happening inside this person, what destruction looks like from their perspective, why misery this profound matters, whether it changes anything. Take what resonates. This is raw truth about someone's internal collapse. You control what you do with that information. Picture waking up every morning to immediate gut punch, remembering before their eyes fully open, before consciousness solidifies, there's maybe 3 seconds where they forget, where reality hasn't loaded yet and you're still theirs and everything's still okay. Then the truth crashes in. You're gone. The separation is real. Another day of this unbearable absence stretches ahead. And that transition from forgetting to remembering happens every single morning, and it destroys them a little more each time. Their days have lost structure. Everything used to organize around you, around calls with you, plans with you, just knowing you existed in their world. Now there's nothing holding the hours together. They wake up with no reason to wake up, go through motions that feel pointless, exist without actually living because living requires caring about something, and they can't care about anything except what they've lost. Food tastes wrong, sleep won't come or comes too much. Work feels impossible to focus on. Friends tire of hearing about it. The whole architecture of normal functioning has collapsed, and they're just here, breathing, technically alive, but so far from okay that okay seems like a foreign country they'll never visit again. Here's what's destroying them specifically: not abstract heartbreak, concrete specifics. The silence where your voice used to be. They've memorized your voice, the exact timbre and rhythm. And now there's this horrifying silence instead. They'll hear something that reminds them of how you laugh, and they have to grip the edge of whatever surface is nearest because the longing physically hurts. Their body actually aches for sounds you used to make. The empty space you occupied, your side of the bed, your spot on the couch, the passenger seat of their car. Empty spaces that scream your absence louder than your presence ever announced itself. They can't sit in certain rooms anymore, can't drive certain routes, can't go certain places because the ghost of you saturates everything, and facing those ghosts breaks them open every time. The realization that kept hitting them in waves. You're really gone. Not temporarily, not in a fight that will blow over. Actually separated, possibly permanently. And each time that reality lands fresh, It's like the first time all over again. The shock doesn't diminish. The devastation doesn't numb. It stays sharp and it keeps cutting. Let me tell you what misery this profound does to a person. It strips away everything that isn't essential. The parts of themselves they performed for others gone. The social mask they wore abandoned. The version of themselves they maintained through effort collapsed. All that's left is raw need and unfiltered pain and desperate longing. They've been reduced to their most basic truth. They need you and they can't have you, and that contradiction is destroying their ability to function. They're not eating properly, not taking care of themselves. Why shower when you're not there to notice? Why dress well when you're not there to see? Why maintain routines when routines were only meaningful because they structured time until they could be with you? Self care feels absurd when the self doesn't want to exist in a reality where you're separate from them. They replay everything obsessively, every conversation trying to find where it went wrong, every choice examining what they could have done differently, every moment with you playing on loop in their mind like footage they're studying for clues about how to undo this. Their brain has become a torture device, running the same painful analysis endlessly without reaching different conclusions. Now I need to address something crucial. This level of destruction, does it mean anything? Does someone being destroyed by separation mean they love you? Does their misery prove worth? Does their inability to function without you translate into anything you should care about? Maybe, maybe not. Because destruction can come from genuine love, from recognizing too late what you had, from having truly become intertwined with someone's soul in ways that tearing apart feels like amputation. That's real. That's valid. That's misery that comes from actual connection being severed. But destruction can also come from dependence, from having used you as their entire emotional support system, from never developing the ability to be okay alone, from addiction to how you made them feel rather than actual appreciation of who you are. That's that's also real, but it's not the same thing, and their misery in that case isn't about you. It's about losing their crutch. How do you tell the difference? Time. Genuine love-based destruction eventually transforms into growth, into becoming someone better through the pain. Dependence based destruction just continues, becomes resentment, becomes you did this to me instead of I need to heal from this. Let me tell you what they're not doing. Despite the destruction, despite the misery, they're not necessarily fixing what caused the separation in the first place. They're destroyed, they're miserable. But are they in therapy? Are they addressing their patterns? Are they doing actual work? Or just wallowing in pain, hoping you'll come back and relieve them of having to change? Because that matters more than their misery. Someone can be genuinely destroyed by losing you and still not be someone you should return to. Pain doesn't equal transformation. Suffering doesn't automatically create wisdom. Sometimes people just suffer without learning anything and then repeat the exact patterns that caused the suffering in the first place. You want to know if they're reaching out? If their destruction is driving them toward you? Some are, some aren't. Some are destroyed but too proud to admit it. Some are destroyed but convinced you hate them, so they're staying away. Some are destroyed but know deep down they don't deserve you back, so they're suffering in silence as punishment they believe they've earned. And some are destroyed in absolutely coming for you, with apologies, with changed behavior, with concrete evidence they've done work, with genuine readiness to be different this time. Their destruction became their catalyst, their misery became their teacher, and they're coming back not to escape the pain, but to prove the pain created growth worth showing you. Here's what you need to decide. If they reach out, and they might, what does their destruction mean to you? Does knowing they're miserable without you create obligation? Does their pain guilt you into considering return? Does their suffering prove they've learned, or does it just prove they miss what you provided? You're allowed to feel compassion for their pain without taking responsibility for relieving it. You're allowed to acknowledge they're struggling without deciding that struggle earns them access back to you. Their destruction is theirs to manage, not yours to fix, not yours to ease by sacrificing your own peace. But you're also allowed to consider reconciliation if their destruction produced genuine change. If their misery was the breaking point that finally made them address what they couldn't address before, if they can demonstrate through action, not just claim through words that they're different now, take what resonates, leave the rest. Someone is being destroyed by this separation, miserable without you. That's real. Their pain is genuine. But their pain alone doesn't determine your path forward. What they've done with that pain does. If they've transformed through suffering, if destruction became reconstruction, maybe there's something there. If they're just suffering, hoping you'll rescue them from consequences of their own patterns, their misery changes nothing. You're exactly where you need to be. Separate, with space to see clearly, with distance to evaluate whether their destruction means growth or just means loss. I'll see you in the next one.